All right, this goes here. That goes there. That goes there. This goes there. I think I got it. Pressure, is that you? Good evening, good evening. And how are you today? All righty, all righty. Who? E-dubs. Jonathan, Alex, what's going on? Spike, out of here. E-dubs, you're in two different places? Cool beans. All right, Kyle, what's happening? August, what's going on? All righty. Mark, Brian, good evening, good evening. All righty. Mr. Nice Guy's in the house. He's joined over there too. BK, what's going on? Captain M. Jones. And how are you doing over there, young sir? Okay, a little on the quiet side. Got your tongue. I see you there on the camera. All right. I don't know who that is, but all right. Anyway, good evening, everyone. This is James. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by the 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow. What am I doing with this thing up here? This is what I want right there. I want that right there. There we go. All right, so we're looking at stocks that have a potential to be exactly what we're looking for, and that is a dividend stock company that's consistently profitable. That's number one. Number two, do they have weekly options? Well, I want weekly cash flow. It is what it is, you know. Fonzarelli, what's happening? Some beast. Joe, what's going on? Bill, Tim, Jack Massey. Best way to connect with you, no response on the messenger sent through your website. I looked at my emails this morning, Jack. You sure it was me? Brian, good evening. Do you ever do phone calls on Friday? Love help setting up a chart? Yes, I do. Ask and you shall receive. Abe, what's going on? Eugenio, Loveless. Interesting name. Small Water. Mitchell. Mike. Filthy 23. Heather Gawley, how are you doing today? Yulmini, Hank Peterson, David, good evening. Was that Angel Kiss X's? All right, good evening. Cool random stuff. All right, hi, hello. Cost of the membership, no, truth, it's in the bio. Actually, it's on the website. I try not to sell anything while I'm online live. Okay, unlike a lot of people, I try not to sell anything. M.O. Beverly wants to take a look at Altria. First off this evening. Well, let's take a look at Altria. Why not? I like Altria. Let's see what it looks like. All right, first and foremost, let's go. Altria. Into the chart we go. Altria, M.O. And here we have it. Altria, the high for the year back in April. Low for the year back last August. Okay, that's where she was. This is where she is. Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Right here, big pullback on Altria. Well, let's take a closer look at it because it's not going to be a contender for this week, but here's the thing. We're looking for a new bottom here. Top's here for the year. If she pulled back a little bit, great. Well, where's it going next? That's always the big plan. Florida, Georgia, cross country. What's happening? Donoso. Good evening, Donoso. How are you today? All right. So let's take a gander. What is it going to pay us? Because that's my major concern. What am I buying it for? What am I selling it for? What strike price am I going to set? What kind of premium am I going to collect? Now, for those of you who don't understand what I do one of the safest trading strategies there is. Okay? Basically, a covered call. Buy the stock, sell the option. I like to look at it this way. I'm creating what I call cash producing assets. Take a big chunk of money, put it into a company, a good company, and then every single week I produce some cash from it. Kind of like a Coke machine. Or a vending machine. There we go. Pay a couple $1,000, put it in my little vending machine. It's basically, almost effortless. 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's it. Who do we got here? Eagle 18. What's going on? Brian, Butterfly, Leslie, Double Bounce, Elman. Okay, Maddie, Freddie. What do you think of Procter and Gamble? We looked at it last night. The numbers weren't looking that good. So we're just going to say, there we go. Oh, YouTube Police Department. This is the YouTube Fund Patrol. You are being cited for excessive drip. Please hand over the content. Yeah, whatever. Colt, just croissant. Okay. I want to sell to upgrade. I want to sell it to upgrade my computer. Is this reasonable? Okay, Eric, I didn't get the first part of that question. Yeah, Eric, there's no first part of the question. All right. Let's just take a look at what we're looking at. So anyway, Altria at this moment in time is at 57.75. So what is the closest strike price to 57.75? Oh, come on. It's not that difficult. It's 58. 57.75. The next one. See, look. 55, 56, 57, 58. Yeah, the closest one is 58. Well, this week it's only 23. That's a 0.5%. No, thank you. Next week, it's going for 83. The 58s are going for 57, 58. So that's right around 1%. So let's take a look at Altria. Let's actually start off the day with the very first stock we're looking at actually be a potential trade for next week. So let's take a look. Are you religious? Okay, nice question. Thank you. TPL, Enzo. How are you doing today, Enzo? WYD, Romero. WYD, never heard of it. So let's see, keep on going. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to take a good look at the chart. Now, we took a 4 or 5 second look, okay? High, low, was, is, all that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. I've seen that. However, I can't see all the way over there, so we have to adjust this just a tad. Just a tad, don't go anywhere. Let's do this. Now let's try it one more time. Here we go. Right there. There we go. Okay. So a year ago, we're at the bottom, right around 46. The high of the year was in the beginning of May, and that was 61. Need a call low spread in and out. Okay, thank you for that. Gary Yates, how are you today? All right, so look at the last couple of months. Okay, so here's your last 2 months right here. Look at the movement. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Well, look what now. Okay, we had a high just a couple of days ago. Now we have 2 days to the downside. Okay, so it doesn't look like a great opportunity at this moment, but look at the last 30 days. Okay, here's the last 30 days. The same pattern, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, we have a new 30-day bottom today. Okay, so me personally, I like 2 days to the upside. So if this is the bottom here at 57, I want to see what she's going to do tomorrow. And then Friday, is it going to be 2 days to the upside and then jump in on Monday? Okay, I want 2 days to the upside, and on the third day, I will jump in. That's what I like for me. Now, you guys got to figure out what your entry point is for you guys, because everyone is different. User 4848, how are you today? You need a winner? Well, maybe Altria could be, but I personally would wait a little bit longer to find a bottom, because this could be the bottom. Could be, but we don't know, because it could drop tomorrow. It could go up tomorrow. So I like 2 days the upside before I jump into anything. Jojo wants to take a look at advanced micro devices. Fonzarelli, what pays a dividend tomorrow, Fonzie? Okay, I can't go back too far. Advanced micro devices. Let's take a look at it. AMD. Okay, AMD, one more time. Interesting. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at it. Now, I tell everybody it should take you 3 to 4 seconds to be able to take a quick look at the chart to find out, is this something you want to pursue? Well, let's take a look. 3 to 4 seconds. You ready? We're looking for 5 things. Okay? High, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the flow. Where is it going? Down, up, down, up. Well, here we are right here. What's it going to do next? Well, that's the question. That's the 1-year chart. All right, so it looks okay. Not awesome, but okay. So now we know what the chart looks like. Let's go and see what the numbers look like. What am I going to buy it for tomorrow morning? Well, tomorrow morning, it's at 38.41. Well, the closest strike price to 38.41 is going to be the 138 or the 139, one or the other, whichever one you want to do. Now, the 138 is going to be a safer trade, but the 139 is going to be more profitable. So here's where we come into the balance. Do I want safety or do I want profitability? Which one? Okay, I got 2 goals in mind: consistency of profitability and preservation of my capital. Okay, my goal is simple: 1% every single week. So let's take a look. Now, the 138 for this week is going for 186. Well, I'm losing 21 cents right off the top. We take it off there, I'm still walking away with over 1%, and there's only 2 days left, Thursday and Friday. Well, that looks pretty damn good. If you like AMD, of course. Yeah, melatonin wants both. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you just might find. You just might find you get what you need. All right, double bounce. We're going to take a look at Verizon and Costco in a little bit. But right at this moment, we want to take a deeper dive into AMD because the numbers look okay. Okay, well, what does the chart telling us? Now, we've seen the 1-year chart, and the 1-year chart's okay. All right, well, let's look a little deeper, see what it's actually telling us. All right, so a year ago was the high of the year for AMD. That was 187.28. Okay, right up over here. That's the high last year. The bottom is right down here between March and April. Well, let's zoom in a little bit closer to that one. Tanya, Oliver, I didn't know. Cool beans. Yep. All right, 187.28. We bottomed out on TDS day, right? 474849. It's TDS day. There's our bottom. So from there, we bottomed out at 75.74. Look at the motion we got from here up to here, from 75 to 150. That, my friends, is a 100% increase. In how many months? 1, 2, 3. 3 months, it doubled. Well, yeah, there's going to be profit taken, but how much? Okay, so from here, she went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back. Now she's going up again. Well, let's zoom into the last 30 days so you get a better idea of where do we think it's going to be by next Friday. All right, so let's go check that out. J Deep. Okay. Mitchell, Hydrogen One Baby. Okay. Unilever, we looked at that one the other day. Please analyze. All right, I don't do Forex. Okay, sorry, no Forex. All right, so the last 30 days. Last 30 days gives you a great idea where it looks like it's going. Okay, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is definitely going to the upside. Okay, we have a higher high today, a higher low today. Tuesday, a higher high, a higher low. So we got one more day. So if tomorrow she opens up a little bit higher than today's close, well, that's a cue to jump in if you like AMD and if it makes sense. Okay, now there's no gospel rule to this whatsoever. There's no law. It's just a feeling that you have to agree with. Okay, when there's a top, how do you know? When there's a bottom, how do you know? Okay, other than when it hits a bottom, eventually it'll turn around and go back up. But how many days in a row does it have to go up before you say, I think that's the bottom, I'm going to jump in? Well, I tell you what my rule is. This is my rule for me. You have to decide what is right for you. For me, 2 days to the upside. Well, Monday was a new bottom. Tuesday was higher. Today was higher. So tomorrow, that's my cue to jump in if, and only if, she opens up higher tomorrow. But that's for me. And do I like AMD? Well, if I do it, let's just do the 138s to see what it looks like. So you'll get a good idea of what the numbers look like if you like AMD. All right, so I'm looking at the 138s for this week. All right, I'm just going to do one contract so you get a good idea what it looks like and sounds like. Okay, I always do everything at the market. Okay, because it's simpler, it's easy, it fills instantaneously, and I get my money right away. Tonka-tuber, what's happening, brother? What about BYD? All right, I'll take a look at BYD in a little bit. Just sit tight. I got 6 other channels I got to keep an eye on. Apple, we'll take a look at Apple. J-Deep, give me a minute or two. All right. All right, so let's read it and see if we understand exactly what it is. Buy one covered call, AMD 100s. Okay, that's the weeklies. 11 July 25. That's in 2 days. That's this Friday. This option is going to expire this Friday. Well, let's check and look at the numbers and see if it makes sense. The 138 call option against the AMD stock at the market to open. It's 2 orders, stock order, option order 2. Okay. Maximum profit 167. Investment 13.6. Okay, so let's get the calculator out because that's going to tell me what is my rate of return. LG Pay, what's happening? Baby Dan, Christian, good evening. Charlotte, good evening. Yellowwood, Darren, what's happening and what's happening? All right, so we get the calculator out to give us an idea. What is the rate of return? Well, because I'm doing this for cash flow. Okay, so I'm retired. That means all the money that I make has to come from my investments. Okay, so if I have my little nest egg and I get a little bit every single week, 1%, that's enough to cover my bills. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to take the maximum profit right here, 167. Remember when I said I want a simple, safe, predictable, and consistent trading strategy? Well, this is what I came up with. Okay, every single week I can make this trade against AMD. All right, so calculator. Take the profit, 167. 167. And I'm going to divide that by the investment. Well, the investment on this one is 13,633. Okay. Divided by 13,633. Comes to a grand total of 1.2%. Well, that's just for this week, for 2 days. So what happens if I just say, you know what, let me do next week's? All right, so let me get out of here. Bring this one down. Let's edit this and change the date right here. So instead of doing it for 11 July, I'm going to do it for 18 July, which is next Friday. So that's 2 weeks. That's actually, 10 days out? So let's see what that number looks like. So I'm going to change that from this week to next week right there. Same strike price, okay, at the market. Well, here's what it sounds like now. So just a tiny bit of a change to see what it sounds like. Buy one covered call, AMD 100s. Okay, it's advanced micro devices. 18 July 25. That means this option is going to expire next Friday. So the one for this week is giving 1.2%. I'm kind of curious what this one's giving. Okay, the 138 call option against AMD at the market to open. Here's the profit, here's the investment. Well, the investment is just a tiny bit different. And the profit is definitely different. So let's figure out that rate of return. All right, so calculator. Okay, 339.50. 339.50 divided by 13,461. 13,461. What is that, an extra $5 or something like that? But here it's given 2.5%. All right, so I can do this week's, which is 2 days, get 1.5%. Or I can do next week's and get 2.5%. Well, the big question is, does it make sense? That's question number one. Question number two be something to the effect of, do I like AMD, Advanced Micro Devices? Okay, does it make sense? Do I like this company? Am I willing to hold on to this company until it hits my target? Collect that premium every single week looking for that 1%? Well, this week it's 1.2%, 1.5%. Next week it's 2.5%. So I can do it every single week and get some type of cash flow coming in. Or you can just go out and buy a supermarket, a franchise, Chuck E. Cheese, McDonald's, Burger King, car wash, laundromat, whatever. You need to invest your money somewhere, unless you don't mind working every single week for someone else. You either do it yourself, make your own money, or just work for someone else. Some people like to work for someone else. Makes it easier. I want it in real time, even loss in real time, so I can take it. Now, Jay Deep, I understand exactly what you're saying. Okay? Now, I do trading live every day. You want to be part of that? Let me know. DM me a number. I'll give you a buzz. We'll chat. See what you got to say. Bruno, Jay Deep, please let others speak. Thank you. All righty. All right. So, do you like AMD, Advanced Micro Devices? Are you willing to buy it and hold it for as long as it takes to hit your target? Well, the target in this example is 138. Well, the current stock price, where the hell did it go? Hold that thought. The current stock price is 138.41. Okay? So I'm already in the money, 138. Well, 138.41 is the current price. So it's still 2.5% for a week and a half. That's not that bad, depending on what your goals are. M. Woodhouse, good evening. What do I think about KHX? I've never heard of that. Let's take a gander. KHX. Wait a minute. KHX or KHZ? Well, KHZ is Kraft Heinz. That much I do know. Oh, yeah. That one never has good premiums. Something strange. See, I must have bought Kraft Heinz at least twice in 20 years. KHC. First thing I want to do is I want to change that back to there. And the current price is $26.49. Okay? $26.45, the current price. The 26.50s, 16 cents. No. 26.50s, 35. Oh, holy cow. Actually giving me a halfway decent amount. Alrighty then. Why not? Now, Kraft, they make ketchup, of course. They make Heinz 57 sauce. They make mayonnaise. They make all kinds of barbecue sauces and other kind of sauces. So let's take a look. A year ago, Kraft Heinz was at $31.90. The high of the year. Look at this. We got some pretty good resistance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5 times it did not want to go over $36.50. There we are, right there. Take a look at that. That was back in August, September, and October. Okay. Well, the last 90 days, or last 60 days, look at that. Big drop, big jump, back down again. Oh, this doesn't look good. Okay, take a look. Down, up, down. What's going on here? It's not clear. Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's Kraft's. You get a new bottom here and only 1 day of the upside. So if you really like it, keep your eye on it. it's not as clear as I would like it to be, because here's your 30-day bottom. Then she jumps up. Now she's pulling back again. So not quite ready to jump into Kraft Heinz yet. Bruno. Yeah, Robert, I know AMD has no dividends. I know that. Somebody asked me to take a look at it, so I took a look at it. Thank you. You're welcome. Double bounce, Verizon. Let's take a look at Verizon. Verizon for Mr. Double Bounce. Here we go. Interesting. Okay. Unfortunately, Verizon is still coming down off of this little peak right here. Okay. So keep an eye on it, because as soon as it finds a new bottom, like this right here, turn around, go up. Well, this is going to do the same thing. Eventually, she's going to come down, turn around, go back up again. So Verizon, we have it on our list for next week, because it looks like she should be finding a bottom pretty soon. So pretty soon, as soon as she finds the bottom, turns around, goes up, that'd be a nice opportunity to jump in, but not today. The next one, CSCO, that's Cisco. CSCO. CSCO. No. Wasn't that quick? Now, the only reason I'm saying no to Cisco is look at where it is. Okay, here's your 30-day bottom, 30-day top, too close to the top. Why do you want to stay there? Okay, just wait. Wait a couple of weeks. It'll come back down again. Let me put CSCO in for 2 weeks from today. Maybe 3 weeks. But we'll look at it in 2 weeks. CSCO. All right. That being said, what do we have next? Ooh, Citibank. I like that one. Bruno, Lockheed Martin, LMT. Interesting. Okay. High, low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, sideways. Okay, 463. The 465s. Nope, not this week. Next week, yeah. 465s are going for 550. That's over 1%. Well, let's take a good look at Lockheed Martin. Now, I normally don't buy anything over $250 because I can make just as much money on a $30 stock as you're going to make on a $400 stock. 1% is 1%, no matter how you look at it. Okay? So, that being said, a year ago, Lockheed Martin's at 460. Well, now, isn't that weird? All right, take a look at this. A year ago, we're at 460. Right now, we're at 463. So if you bought this last year, you made $3. That's horrible. Anyway, 460 last year. Jumps up to 620. That was the end of October. Now from there, here we go. TDS day right there. 4748, 49, that area. Okay, here's your bottom. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. What's going on here? Let's take a look at the last 30 days. Does it look like it's a good opportunity? I don't know. What do you think? Do you like Lockheed Martin? Well, 30 days ago, we're at 480. We bottomed out a couple of days later, 445. Jump up to 487. Okay, pull back down to here, 452. And now we're just kind of channeling to the side at 463. Well, the 463 closest strike price is going to be the 462.5. Let's see what it looks like. Why not? Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this one, 462.5. Covered call right there, 462.5 right there. And one contract. Now, this one's going to hurt when you see this one. Okay, we're looking at a $460 stock. So what do you think that one's going to look like? Yeah, 45,000. Okay, let's hear it out. Hold on. Hear it out. Buy one covered call, Lockheed Martin, 100. That's the weekly. 18 July 25. That is next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. Okay, so the 462.5 call option against the mark, against the against LMT, Lockheed Martin stock, at the market to open. 2 trades, buy stock, sell an option, okay? Walking away with $634 per contract. Now think of it as a cash producing asset. So you're going to dump in 45 grand, and 45 grand is going to give you $634 a week. Now it might be every single week. Okay, it might drop down to 6, it might drop to 580, might go up to 7.25, but usually right around that area, right around the 0.5% to 1 or 2%. Usually, those are the stocks that I like. So Lockheed Martin is on my list. I don't buy it that often because of the price. All right. Anyway, so 45 is going to give me 636. So let's see what the calculator says. Calculator 634, and we want to divide it by the investment. The investment is going to be 45.6. Okay, divide 45,616. Now it gives me a grand total of 1.38%. Now, if you don't have that much money, well, we looked at AMD a little while ago, and that investment is a lot less, and you're still getting the same return. So just because you have more money, well, 1% is 1%. So 1% of $100 is 1. 1% of 1,000 is 10. 1% of 1,000,000 is 10,000. 1% of 100,000 is 1,000. So whatever you're working with, $52,632.18, well, 1% of that is $52.68, something like that. But 1% is 1%, no matter which way you look at it. Now, I don't want to work with numbers because large numbers have a tendency to scare off some people. Small numbers have a tendency to scare off some people too. So if you're looking at it this way, 1% return every week will double your money every 14 to 16 months if you keep investing it. That's compounding it. Simple interest, it's only 52. But are you okay with 52% a year? That's the question. And no, it's not set it, forget type thing. You actually have to put some effort into it. Oh, terribly sorry. You spend an hour a week, 10, 15 minutes a day. It's about an hour a week. Think about it this way. If you got 50 grand in your account, 1 hour a week is $500 an hour. 100 grand, $1,000 an hour. That's what your time is worth. So if I have $500,000, right? Well, that's 500 grand. $5,000 an hour, that's what my time would be worth. Imagine that. 1%. Now, whatever you're starting out with, just remember, every week, 1%, and then it capitalizes. Then it's like a snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill. Same thing here. Now, mine doesn't grow that much because I use the money to actually pay my bills. Right? Mine grows a lot slower than most people's because I use most of mine paying my bills. Because my kids are still on the younger side and my mom's on a certain point. So I'm taking most of my money and I help out my mom, then I help out my kids. So my account grows very slowly, but it does take care of all my bills. And that's what I'm doing, mainly. All right? Because eventually my kids will be on their own and my mom will be no longer here. So then all the money will just stay in my account. All right, anyway, besides the point. So do you like Lockheed Martin? Well, number one question is, does it make sense? Sorry, but does it make sense? Buy a good quality company that is consistently profitable, then turn around and sell it to someone else for basically the exact same price you just paid for it, provided that the chart is telling you it's going the right way. Because we, buyers and sellers, that's you and I, okay? There's a lot of us out there, okay? As a matter of fact, what did we do today? Hold on. Just hold on a minute. 892,000. So Lockheed Martin traded 892,000 shares today. So we're not the only dancers on the dance floor. There are other people out there just like us looking for the same thing, a rate of return on our invested dollar. Well, how are you going to do it? There are lots of ways of doing it, and there's a lot of people just like me doing the exact same thing now, teaching what they do or how they did it. Now, mine is very boring, very slow, very methodical, very structured. Ooh, that's a good one. Very structured. Okay? I do the same stocks over and over and over again. When they go up, I sell them. When they come down, I buy them. But I make sure I do it in accordance to when they're paying out their dividend. When are they moving? It's a good idea to reinvest dividends if you have stock. Okay, Kiki, thank you. Maureen, good evening. Shoot, join just hasn't, okay, thank you. All right, so hopefully that's understandable. Number one, never buy something you don't understand or you don't want to hold on to. It boggles my mind every night. I look at what you guys ask me to look at. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this person thinking? You spend 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 hours a week, however much you work, trading your time for money, being away from your loved ones and your family, doing something you probably don't like doing, not getting what you want. For what? You're trading your time for money. At some point, when is it your turn? When is it your turn to kick back and relax? Well, most likely, it's retirement, okay? In your younger days, you do whatever young kids do. And then in your school days, well, you do what school kids do. You learn. And then after that, you either go to college or you go into the workforce. After that, you buy a house, you raise a family. When the kids move out, well, then it's just you and the wife and the hubby or whatever, whoever it is. Okay? Then you retire. You take all that money that you've earned over your working lifetime and you put it aside, a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. And then you decide, hey, the kids are gone. Let's go out and do something. Buy a motorhome, travel around. Buy a boat, float around the Caribbean. That's what I like to do. And every woman I've been with for the past 8 to 10 years is always giving me one excuse or another. They all like the idea, but when it comes time to jump on a boat, going to the Caribbean, it's always, no, whatever. I'll find one someday. Maybe. Anyway, Lockheed Martin, if you like it. Does it make sense? Do I like this company? Is this where I want to park some of my money? You either like it or you don't. Next. So, what do we have next? Cisco, CSCO. Didn't we look at Cisco a little while ago? I'm pretty sure we did. CSCO. Oh, yeah, hell no. See, when I tell people it takes 3 to 4 seconds to isolate, to take a look at a stock. Well, that one was less than 2 seconds. Look at where it is. It's at the high of the year. Yeah, no thanks. I don't want to play there. Wait for it to come down before I jump in. Well, because they do. Look. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. The same thing. Well, eventually it's going to come back down again to a place that is more favorable for me. Well, not there. Not for me anyway. Marie, how are you? Oh, my voice sounds terrible today. Ooh. All right, what else we got? Troy, Bert, what's happening? Tomer, Elias, Dirt Farmer, back again. All right, let's keep on doing this. Bruno, Bank of America is BAC. So let's take a look at BAC for Mr. Bruno. Interesting. Looks like it's going to be a no, Mr. Bruno. Let me explain why. Let's get out of this. Get out of that. Do that. Do that right there. Okay, so here's the reason why Bank of America is a no this week. Just this week. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Bank of America. But look, here's your bottom right here. Shoots up like a rocket. Goes from 42 to 49. Well, 42 to 49 is $7. Okay, well, that is right around 17% from here to there. So you got your profit taken right there, okay, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, Friday was the high, Monday pulled back, Tuesday pulled back, Wednesday pulled back. Okay, well, I'm going to put Bank of America on the list for 2 weeks out. Give it 2 weeks for it to drop all the way back down to here again. So 2 weeks for Bank of America, then we'll take a look at it again. Why not, right? I mean, it's been in business for over 100 years. Almost every major city in the United States has a Bank of America, so it's all everywhere. Hell, even I have a Bank of America account. All right, anyway, no to Bank of America. Sorry, brother. Citibank, ooh. Citi. Here we go. Citigroup. Nope. Look at that. Same thing. Almost the exact same as Bank of America. Look at it. Shoots up like a rocket. Friday was high. Monday it dropped. Tuesday it dropped. And today it dropped. So let's put Citigroup on for 2 weeks. Patrick, Ron, what's happening? Dwayne. What's happening, Dwayne? Oh, no. Not 1 week, 2 weeks. It's a Citigroup. All righty. Okay, that's that. What else do we have? Eagle, what's going on? TPL. Enzo wants to take a look at TPL. What is TPL, Enzo? Enzo, it's not a good sign when I have to say, what the hell is that? And, Enzo, now you've been here long enough, Enzo. I've seen you like 4 or 5, 6 times. Okay? When I say weekly options only, Enzo, this is monthly. See, 18 July, 15 August, 19 September, 17 October. Okay, you've been here for a while. Okay, so you should know better. DC, what's going on? David, Casper, ComC, what's going on? Joshua, how you doing? Pays a dividend tomorrow. Okay, Fonzarelli, what pays a dividend tomorrow? AMD, where you look at that one, FTW. What's FTW? Never a good sign. FTW. All right. See when it says this instrument has no options? First trust? Yeah, no. Sorry, it's got to have to be a halfway decent company, dude. We're finally looking at options. That's all we do here. Oh, Fonzarelli. Okay. Please advise me about Wolfspeed. Yeah, Wolfspeed's a no, brother. It has not been around for 20 years. It doesn't have the profitability that I'm looking for. Okay, I only do companies that are consistently profitable. Wolfspeed is too new to be profitable. All right. What else do we have? What happens when tariffs actually go into effect? Well, here's an interesting thing. When tariffs actually go into effect, think of it this way. People stop buying shit from overseas and start buying stuff made in America. Now, for some of you that are overseas, well, I apologize for that. But it is what it is. Think about it simply. Get rid of the politics. Get rid of the he said this, she said that. If I make a product, a cup, and I sell it in China for $1, and they tax it 50%. Well, great. Now it's $1.50. Well, great. Now they're going to take one of their cups, they're going to send it over here, and they're going to sell it for $1, and we're going to tax it 50%. So they get $1.50. Do you see that? Equal taxation. If they're charging us 50%, we're charging them 50%. If they're going to charge us 10%, we're going to charge them 10%. It's only fair. No, tell me if I'm wrong. But fair is fair no matter how you look at it. If I'm taking my products and selling it in your country and you're taxing me 10%, great. You send your products over here and I agree to tax it at the same rate. Fair is fair. That's all they're trying to do. Okay? So when the tariffs come, if you're bitching and moaning, stop buying crap from overseas. Okay? We did this to ourselves. Okay? We thought that, hey, we can sell everything. We can have everything made overseas and it'll come in cheaper. Well, what happened then? Well, people wanted more money. Don't get me started on politics. Come on. You don't want to hear what I have to say. I'm point blank right in your face, and I honestly don't care about hurting your feelings. It is what it is. Okay? Fair should be fair across the board. Tariffs are, you're tariffing me 10%? Great, I'll tariff you 10%. That's fair. It hasn't been that way. They're just trying to level the playing field. Make it fair. That's it. Quit your bitching. If you have a problem about it, stop buying crap from overseas. Yep, and I know Americans charge more for their stuff. We brought it on ourselves. Suck it up, buttercup, just deal with it. Okay? So we're looking at companies that actually support the US economy. Well, you should be happy about tariffs because they're tariffing imports, not the stuff that's made here. Okay, we're here investing in US companies. Your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, the guys down the street, the kids you went to school with, even the guys in the supermarket who bumps in and steps on your toe, that guy too. We all work and support the US economy. Stop buying crap from overseas and tariffs won't be an issue. Plain and simple. Terribly sorry. Let's keep on rolling. Fayazan, Robinhood is not been in. Let's take a look at Robinhood. I mean, I won't do it because it's not old enough. Hell no. Okay. The high was Thursday. Okay. Look at the run up. Okay. There's way too much profit here to be thinking that that little tiny bit of profit taking's done and over with. Think about it logically. I'm going to wait. Well, I don't do Robinhood anyway because I don't think they do dividends, and I know that they haven't been in business for 20 years. So they don't have the consistency that I'm looking for. If you like Robinhood, hey, fine. Hey, that's what it looks like. It looks as if she should be coming down a lot more. Now, is it going to? I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Okay, well, it's at 94.54 today. If you wanted to do the 94.54, the closest one's going to be the 95. And that's going for 157. That's 1.5%. But then you got to ask yourself, do you like the company? Do you like it at this price? Well, me personally, I don't like it at this price. Because you get your bottom here, 65, a couple of weeks ago. So from 65 to 95, which was actually it was 100. So from 65 to 100 is 35 bucks. Well, 35 bucks on a $65 stock is about 50%. That's a 50% increase in a month. You don't think there's going to be profit taken? Come on, think about it. If you bought something a month later, it's worth 50% more, and you don't take your profits, well, then you deserve to lose them if it drops. That's just my opinion. Terribly sorry. It ain't a profit until you take it, and nobody ever went broke taking profits. So why not? The profit is there. Take it. Okay? When she pulls back down again, buy it when she's low. Sell it when she's high. All right. Next. Paul, how you doing? Odin, what's going on? All right. Falaise, yeah, Robinhood doubled in 3 months. Yeah, I know that. But you see, the funny thing is, Fazane, is that right? How you pronounce that? Fazane? I understand that. There are a lot of stocks that do double in a short period of time. Some triple. Some go up nicely. Great. But here's the thing. I don't have the luxury of being wrong. Okay? Basically, I don't think Robinhood has dividends. Let's check. Let's go on over to Yahoo Finance, because that's the channel that I use. Okay, put it in Robinhood. All right, give it a second. There we go, Robinhood 95.54. Here's the information from Yahoo Finance. Now, Robinhood has no dividends. Now, I use dividends specifically to show me when a stock is going to move. Let me show you briefly what I mean. Okay, there we go. There we go. And here we go. There we go. Okay, so right behind me, this is called an EX dividend calendar. An EX dividend calendar, specifically for dividend stocks and when they pay their dividends. Okay, each one of these little green dots represents a company that has been consistently profitable for at least 25 years. See, it's right there. This is the list. 25 plus years of increased dividends. So that means for 25 consecutive years, these companies have been consistently profitable. Well, why would you invest in a company that's not consistently profitable? That boggles my mind. Now, don't get me wrong. Robinhood may be profitable, but have they been profitable for at least 2 decades? And do they share their profits? Well, they don't share their profits, which means I have no idea when they are going to move predictably. Because see, when I'm trading, I want all the odds and probabilities in my favor. So the EX dividend calendar tells me when a dividend stock is going to pay the dividend. And the reason I like that is because just before the EX dividend date, the stock has a tendency to go up in value. Well, by knowing when a stock is going to move, that little bit of information gives you an edge over other people. But what do you do with that information? What trading strategy do you use? Well, what are you looking for? Well, me, I tell you right out. Safety, consistency of profitability. That's it. Safety and consistency of profitability. I'm looking for 1% every week. I want a simple, safe, predictable, consistent trading strategy. Okay, that just so happens to be the trading strategy that I created for my 9-year-old daughter back in 2008. When she was 9, crawled up my lap, said, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" Think about it. Can you teach me? 9-year-old girl wants to learn how to invest in the stock market when most adults don't understand it. So think about it. How do you teach a 9-year-old something that most adults don't understand? Number one, never buy something you don't understand or you don't want to hold on to for the rest of your life. Why buy it if you don't want to hold on to it? Rule number 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. And don't kid yourself, this is a game. Okay? It's kind of like Monopoly. Remember the game of life? Stratego, risk, strategic games preparing you for adulthood. Okay, Monopoly is like the ideal one. 4 green houses, 1 red hotel. Or is that red, green? Yeah. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. Is that right? Anyway, whatever. But it's the same thing. Okay? Never buy something you don't want to hold on to. 2, never sell at a loss. Defeats the purpose. 3, make sure, this is what boggles my mind. It does. Make sure the company's consistently profitable. Well, I like 2 decades of consistent profitability. Some of you guys who like ULTY and MSTY and Robinhood, well, they don't have profitability for that type of time frame. Okay? So why would you put your money into a company that's not consistently profitable? Okay, the stock market's been around 400 years. Well, more than 400 years. First dividend stock ever sold, 1602, VOC, Dutch East India Shipping Company. The VOC. Very first dividend stock company to the general public. Their promise was, you invest in our company and we will share the profits with you. That's where the dividend stocks came from. You own a piece of the company. You are entitled to a portion of the profits. So that being said, why would you invest in a company that's not consistently profitable? That's why I like dividend stocks, because when they are profitable for 25 years or more, they make it onto a very exclusive list. A list of companies that are consistently profitable for more than 25 years. And that list is called the Dividend Champions or the Dividend Aristocrats. And then you can go up 1. The next level is the Dividend Kings. 5 decades of increased profitability. Why wouldn't you want to invest in those? I mean, think about it. 5 decades every single year, higher and higher and higher profits. Represented by a little green dot on a EX dividend calendar. So this week, first week, I'm looking at these stocks. Next week, I'm looking at those. Next week, I'm looking at, because I can't buy everything. So I will buy Hormel, get a little 1%, say thank you very much, and then I will sell Hormel and I'll buy Caterpillar. Get a little 1%, move on to the next one. And then maybe I will buy ASO. I don't know. Every week it changes. Every week I'm looking at something new. But here's the thing. It's only for 13 weeks. Because guess what? There's only 13 weeks in a quarter. First quarter, January, February, March. Second quarter, April, May, June. Third quarter, July, August, September. Fourth quarter, October, November, December. There's 4 quarters in the year. Each one of these companies pay a dividend every quarter, every 90 days. So if Hormel pays a dividend every 90 days, and 2 weeks before this date, the stock has a tendency to go up in value 2 weeks before this date, well, why wouldn't I do that every quarter 2 weeks before that date? Grab that little 1%. Well, look, there's a bunch here, a bunch here, a bunch here, a bunch here. Every single week, there's more and more companies. So you just rotate them. Well, what one looks good this week? Great. Let's do Illinois Tool Works. What one looks good this week? Oh, great. Let's do McKesson. Oh, great. Which one looks good this week? Oh, let's do Abbott Labs. Oh, looks good this week? Oh, let's do Caterpillar, Lowe's. There's a whole bunch of companies. Okay? There's over 300 that are consistently profitable on my personal list. Because I've been doing this for a while. If I like a company, it's on my list. And then when the dividend comes up, that's when I take a look at it. Where's the high? Where's the low? Where's the flow going? Is it the right time to buy? Well, great. What is the option? Is the option giving me my 1%? A plus B equals C. Okay, then from C we go to D, E, and F. Anyway, let's keep on keeping on. All right, Keisha, let's take a look at ULTY and Misty, and I will tell you why I don't like either one of those. That's me. If you like them, great. More power to you. I don't. Not that I know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, ULTY. ULTY. You ready? ULTY. YieldMax Ultra Option Income Strategy ETF. ULTY. Okay? Now, we're going to look at all the dividends that this company or this little entity has been paying. All of them. There we go. Well, would you look at that? This company is only a little over a year old. Well, why the hell would I buy into a company that's not even 2 years old yet? But, hold on. It actually gets worse. Let's take a look at the dividends. Because the dividend being a portion of the profits that they give back to the investors, well, if they're consistently profitable, those numbers should go higher and higher and higher as the days go by, as the sand flows through the hourglass. So the days of... Anyway, here we go. The very first dividend, $1.06. Okay, not that great. Second, $1.41. Ooh, that's a nice bump up. Third, $1.27. All right, hold the phone. Timeout. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but consistency of profitability should be higher and higher and higher and higher profits. Well, if the first one is 106, the second one is 1.4, the third one is 1.2, that's going backwards. And then it gets even worse. 1.1, 0.99, 0.78, that's going backwards. Why the hell would you want to put your money in a company that's not consistently profitable? Think about it, seriously. Okay, hey, how much money you make today? Well, I made, Monday, I made $1.06. Great, what'd you make on Tuesday? 141. Awesome, nice move. What was it on Wednesday? 127. Wait a second, you're going backwards. Next one, 113. Well, that's going backwards again. Next one, 99. Going backwards again. Consistency of profitability should be higher and higher and higher and higher. Misty, let's go take a look at Misty. It's going to be the exact same thing. MSTY, MSTY. Okay? YieldMax, MSTR, Option Income Strategy ETF, MSTY. All right, 2139. Let's take a look. Oh, come on. April 2024 was the first dividend? Really? All right, well, let's take a look at those. Okay, April 412. Awesome. May 252. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. What is that? 60, 70% drop? That's not consistently profitable. The first one was a teaser. Then they drop it. Okay, so 4.1, 2.5, 3.0, 2.3, backwards again. 1.9, backwards again. 1.8, backwards again. 4.1, then it went up. Okay, all right, 4.4. Right, 4.4, 3.0, 2.2, 2.0, 1.3, 1.3. It's getting worse and worse and worse as the days go on. So my question to you is, why the hell are you putting your money into something that is going backwards, not going forwards? If I hired someone, I say, hey, this is what I'm going to pay you. Let's see what you got. And this is what his performance was like. Okay, a nice one, the first one. Second one, it's almost like a 60% drop. Third one, a little bit of an increase. Fourth one, well, another big drop. Fifth one, another big drop. Sixth one, another big drop. No, it just doesn't work that way. It's not consistently profitable. No, thank you. Sorry, kiddo. Being your Acacia, it looks like it's your very first comment because I don't recognize the name. Okay, so you're new here, and I'm sorry to pick on you, honey, but I'm a Gen Xer. I don't apologize for my, for what's real. It's not consistently profitable. The numbers don't lie. They are what they are. Okay, you like Misty? Hey, more power to you. I don't tell people what to invest in. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it because the numbers look horrible for me. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for consistency of profitability. That ain't it. Let me give you a rough idea of what it should look like. Okay, hypothetically speaking, this is what it's doing right there. Hypothetically, this is what it should look like. Go all the way back to 2005, because that's 20 years, okay? So 2005, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 16, 20, 23, 28, 31, 36, 39, 42, 46, 51, 56, 62, 68, 75, 83. Not one of them went backwards. This company, Microsoft, consistently profitable year after year after year after year for more than 20 consecutive years. Yeah, it's on my list. Why isn't it on your list? Valid question. Consistently profitable. Why wouldn't you buy it? All right, so let's answer some questions. I told him I was going to look at BYD. Let's take a look at BYD. How do we put BYD into in Yahoo Finance? Because I have no idea who they are. Wait a minute. Isn't that on Warren Buffett's list? Bird, BYD, Bird, Gaming. Is that right? Boyd Gaming. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's take a look. Boyd Gaming. Now, Boyd Gaming, BYD, is not on my list. It's on Warren Buffett's list. So let's take a look. We want to go all the way to 2005 and go from there, because at 2005, that's 20 years. All right, so 2005, 88. So just 8 cents. 8, 12, 13, 15, 5. Oh, no. Oh, look at that. 2008, it was at 15 cents a share. Nothing in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 9 years, no dividends. So it went from 2008 until 2017 before it started doing dividends again. Well, in 2017, it went from 5 to 6, 7 to 15 to 16 to 17 to 18. Okay, now I got to cut it some slack because it is on Warren Buffett's list. Okay? Every once in a while, you'll see me cutting some slack. So if it's good enough for Warren Buffett, it's good enough for me. So let's take a look and see what the numbers look like for Boyd Gaming. See if Mr. Warren Buffett is right on this one. So let's get out of here. Let's go to here. And let's put in Boyd Gaming. BYD. Hell no. 2 reasons. Number 1, it's at the high of the year. Yeah, I don't buy at the high of the year. It doesn't make any sense. 2, it's a monthly option. Okay, so just because it's on Warren Buffett's list, I'll take a look at it. I did. It's a no. Sorry, that's a no. Okay, user 3081. NDA, Amazon, and Disney. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, N. What the hell is N? Fidelity. Oh, hell no. DA. Hell no. AMZN. AMZN. Now, Amazon doesn't have any dividends. So I'm not 100% sure why we're looking at it. Someone asked, we're going to take a look. Okay, high, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Down, up, down, up. Simple. Okay, now it's at 222.54. So the 222.54s, 222.50s right there, 184. Not this week, only got 2 days. Can't expect much. Next week, 365. So that's more than 1%. But get this, Amazon doesn't have dividends. So how can we tell if it's the right time to buy it? Other than just the momentum. Well, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of momentum, but it's not a it's not an answer that we're looking for. And it's going to be a no, because look at where we are. We're stuck right here. That's resistance. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it would not go over 225. 5 times. Ain't quite ready. So just because I buy it, think it's going to go up? No. It's not a game I want to play. Here's the bottom. She shot up. Not doing anything. So I like some kind of activity. Disney. DIS. No. A couple of reasons. Check this out. Here's your bottom. A nice jump to the top. Now she's coming down. If you like Disney, wait about 2 or 3 weeks. So let's put Disney now for 3 weeks. Disney, 3 weeks. Uh-oh. Disney does not start with a B. All right, so. Kevo, what's happening, Kevo? What do you got to say tonight, Kevo? Kevo, if the call hits the strike price before the end of the week, do you still hold until the end? No. Okay, Kevo, I look at the stocks every single day. Okay, now, you may think it's a big, long ordeal. No, it's not. It takes a couple of seconds. You take a look at the stock. What did I buy it for? What did I sell? What's it at now? What's the momentum of the shares looking like? Darius, you have a question. Mike, I was wondering if you could post the Monday Patreon. I already did that one, Mike. Scotty Cook, what's happening? Okay, Darius, you have a question? What you got? What you got? So, Kevo, I look every single day. All right, I want to find out. If it hits my strike price, great. Then it'll show a little ITM. As a matter of fact, let's actually look at one really quick, see what it looks like. All right. See the little tiny ITM? That means it's in the money. That means there's something I have to do about that stock position. Well, great. Well, the first thing I want to do, let's take a look at Macy's. Macy's. Right there. Okay, this is what Macy's looks like. Here's the last 30 days. What do you think? 30 days ago, we're at 1240. Then we drop down to 1040. Then we shoot up to 1280. Well, we're kind of going up still because we got a higher high today and a higher low today from yesterday and the day before. So she's still going up. However, mine right here, well, it says in the money. So let's take a look. There's view trade right there. February 25th, I bought that. Okay, my average price is $13.40. I sold the 1150s for this week. So yeah, I'm at risk. Well, right up here, I have a working order. Okay, the working order for Macy's right here. So I'm buying back this week's 1150s, and I'm trying to sell next week's 1150s, and I'm trying to collect the 1% that I'm looking for. It will fill or it won't fill. And if it doesn't fill, guess what? I bought it at 1150, now it's up here. I've already made my money. I really don't care whether I hold on to it or not. But at some point, it doesn't help to hold on to it. It's best just to let it go. Got to switch batteries. All right, let's charge that baby up. There we go. Power mode. All right. So it's always going to come down to the numbers. How long does it take me to take a look at my position? Well, let me give you a rough idea. Ellie, thank you for that, Ellie. So take a quick look at this, all right? Watch back there. Okay, DVN. Okay. Whoops. Right there. Here we go. Okay, what did I buy it for? All righty. Right there, 34.50. It's at 34.59. Okay, that's my order. Does it make sense? All right, back to it here. Next on the list, Harley Davidson. Okay, here's Harley Davidson. Oh, it went up again a little bit today. Right there. Here's my position there. Okay. Does it make sense to take it and move it? It's always going to be about the numbers. It takes just a couple of seconds. Okay, back to monitor. Okay, Hertz. Okay, so I'm into Hertz at 649. I sold the 6s, picked up 2. Ain't worth it. Okay, it's currently at 714. Does it look like I'm working? Does it look like the numbers are working for me? It's a yes/no question. It doesn't take long to look at it whatsoever. Just take your cursor, put it on top of your position. Here's Kohl's, right click. Okay. Here's where it is. Look at that nice upward trend we have. It's at 935 at the moment. Well, I'm at 858, and I sold the 850s. So I bought it 858. I sold the 850s. Well, now it's at 935. Okay, well, I'm going to try to roll it forward, and it's offering me $8 per share. Well, I want 850. It doesn't take that long to take a look at what did I buy it for? What strike price did I sell? What premium did I collect? What's it at now? What does that mean? I'll give you a quote from the great John F. Kennedy. We cannot answer the questions of tomorrow with the information we possess today. When I bought these positions, they made perfect sense. As the weeks go by, the numbers change, situations change. So by looking at it every single day, it gives me an idea of what should I do next. That's all I can ask for. That's about all I can do. Okay? It's kind of like having a plant or a pet, a dog, fish, birds. You gotta feed and water them every day. If you have a garden, whether it's a flower garden or whether it's a vegetable garden, or whether you have outdoor pets, cows, pigs, chickens, whatever, you gotta feed and water and tend to them every day. Well, why don't you do it with your money? Think about it. Why not? You're going out and you're working, you're trading your time for money. So what are you doing with your money? Shouldn't you be gardening it also? I don't know, that might be a weird metaphor for some of you. No way! Follow me on YouTube. No. All right, who do we got? Valdos, what's happening? And Sterling, Felix, what's going on? Okay, Darius, you said you have a question. What you got? USA farm style life. If you wake up with a gap down in the morning, yeah, what about it? Same thing. It's always going to be about the numbers. What did you buy it for? What option did you sell? What's it at now? Where does it look like it's going? What does it mean? You just take one question at a time. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Oh, no, don't do that. Darius, I know that answer to that question. It's kind of stupid, and I prefer you not to ask me stupid questions. Hey, James, do you ever roll up? No, because anytime you roll up, you have to pay money to roll up. Now, rolling down, you get extra credit. So, Dominic, I'm not okay. I'm hanging on a rail and tell you I'm right. I'm learning to hide it well. Not quite sure what that has to do with anything, but okay. How do you find stocks to sell in options? Dividend kings, dividend aristocrats, dividend champions, dividend contenders, Warren Buffett's list. All those look pretty good. Amazon, no. Disney, where I looked at it, NVDS. What's NVDS? NVDS. Oh, yeah, no. No, I don't do monthlies. Okay? 18 July, 15 August, 19 September, 19 December. Those are called monthly optionable stocks. Well, you can only trade them once a month. That's why they're called monthlies, once a month. So if I'm trading it once a month, that's 12 times a year. That means besides the dividend, I'm only getting 12 option premiums, just 12. Well, if I'm averaging 1 to 2% with every trade, well, 12 times, it's only 12 to 24% a year. Now, some of you might think, hey, 24% a year is great. Well, great, do the monthlies. Less work, less money. Now, if I'm getting 1 to 2% every trade and I do it every week, well, that's 52 times a year. Well, that's a 50 to 100% interest. 1 to 2% every week is 50 to 100% per year. But on a monthly, 1 to 2% every month, well, that's 12 to 24% a year. Some of you might be okay with that. Not me. Sorry. I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Kate, do you hit the bid or ask button to purchase the trade? Sterling, so you roll over the next week if it pays you a credit of 1% or more? Absolutely. Set it, forget it. It's one of those called a GTC sale. Good till cancel. Okay, you got a couple new terminology you got to use. How to buy, how to sell. Buy, sell, good to cancel, good to close. All right, so no to this one. I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Sorry. Daniel, couldn't you filter for stocks at the near 90-day moving average or the low? Okay, yeah, you could. But here's the thing, Daniel. Whenever you hear me say, hey, everybody, this is James from Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by the 10-minute trader. I only want to sit in front of my computer for 5 or 10 minutes. That's it. Could I do that filtering the way you're talking? Yeah, I could. Or I could go right to the calendar and tell me which stocks I'm looking at this week. That's it. I mean, me personally, I only look at 5 to 10 stocks per week. That's it. And I usually only buy 1 to 2 per week. Very rarely will I buy more than 2 or 3 stocks per week. But it's always rotating. All right. What else we got here? Rock, what's happening? Disgruntled Cook, back again. How are you today? Wonderful, wonderful. Daniel Miller for the win. No idea what that means. Fonzarelli, Altria pays a dividend tomorrow. Yes, we know that. I started doing long call options for the first time. Alrighty, Steel Cut Oats, you're back again. I remember that name. Nothing is made in the USA. Yes, there is quite a bit. TikTok Tommy, love your calendar for the EX dividend dates. Did you do that yourself? No, that dividend calendar, EX dividend calendar, was in Think or Swim. That's owned by Charles Schwab. I had nothing to do with that. It's the Bay Harbor Butcher. Okay. George. And it's us, the customers, that lose either way. Unfortunately, George, yes, it is. Okay? Yeah, you know what? I grew up dirt ass poor. My family was on welfare all of the 60s, 70s, and most of the 80s. Now, I do have to admit, every one of us, besides my brother, is either have our own business or are self-sufficient. Now, one of my brothers he has a hearing issue, so he does take government assistance because he's deaf. He wasn't when he was born, but for some strange reason, he is now. So, needless to say, there's a huge difference between dirt-ass poor and knowing how it works. Because, yeah, I grew up dirt-ass poor, but once I got out of the high school, I went to the service. Once I got out of the service, I get into an apprenticeship. Once I got into the apprenticeship, then I started my own company. Well, now I'm on the other side of the fence where I'm actually hiring people. And I'm the asshole who doesn't pay taxes because I do all these kind of tax breaks and all this kind of weird shit. Well, we are where we are because that's where we choose to be. Okay, and yeah, the little guy usually always gets the shaft. That's why I'm trying to create a business specifically to help out those that, let's call stepped on, the little guy. Okay, so if I can guarantee a 20% rate of return for everybody that invests with us, well, that's helping them out because nobody else is offering it. I'd love to offer more, but I can only do what the insurance company allows me to do. And getting them to guarantee the 20% is going to be tough. But that's my goal. And I won't be able to do that until next year because I need a full 2 years of verifiable live trading. I love avocados. Don't you love guacamole? Yeah, what does that have to do with anything? Chauncey, no, I do more than covered calls, but that's the only trading strategy I'm giving away for free. Okay, I have plenty other strategies. This is the only one I give away for free. All right, where are we? Debbie, my first time here. Hi, Miss Debbie, and how are you today? Enchanté, mon chéri, toujours. Wanting to get into stocks, but don't know how to get started. Well, Debbie, this is your first step. One, find some place that you can learn something that you can easily digest, that makes sense, that you think you can do. This might be it. This might not be it. But let me tell you what it is here. Okay, I'm looking for consistency of cash flow and preservation of my capital. Now, I'm not looking to buy a stock and have it shoot to the moon. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for safety, then predictability of my income. My goal is 1% every single week. Now, I know it's kind of low for some people, but if you add it up, at the end of the year, it's a 50% return. And not very many people get consistent 50% returns. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So ask as many questions as you want. Okay, in the bio, there's lots of reference material. So let's keep on keeping on. There are profit takers on hood, but more bullish euphoria to drive it to 100. Okay, Kevo, I understand what you're saying. I really do, honestly. But Robinhood is not a, hold on a second. It's more of a growth stock, not an income stock. There is a difference between the two. You have growth stocks, which they take all their profits and put it back into the company so it grows faster. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's designed for people who want to, put their money into something and just watch it over a decade or so. Well, fine. That works for a lot of people. Now, at some point, when you retire, you have to rely on income coming from somewhere. So when you're on this side of the fence, being retired and relying on your own efforts to bring in cash flow, you have a tendency to look at investments a little differently. Now, could I take money and put it in a Robinhood, wait 5 or 10 years? Yeah, I could, but I ain't going to do it, because waiting 5 or 10 years for money to come in is not going to help me this week. It's not going to help me next week. It's not going to help me the week after. Okay? So at some point, you have to realign what you're looking for. Okay? The older you get, everything changes. And as you go older, everything changes. And then when you retire and you no longer punch that time clock, get out of the rat race, everything changes. Okay, let's keep on keeping known. Elk Schnout. Debbie, I did that one. Elk Schnout. Will that board tell you if they pay dividends? I'm not quite sure what board it is you're talking about. Chauncey, it doesn't have dividends. Okay. Miss Mill, what's happening? Joker, what's going on? Odin, Johnny Harris. Kahi, how are you today? Do you go for stocks with EX date and weeks of or weeks before? 2 weeks before. Drazik, hey, dude, you're early tonight. Nice to see you. So Kahi, yeah, I like going 2 weeks before the EX date. That way it gives the stock plenty of time to move up. Kahi, same question. All right, got that one. I am also wondering too. Okay, so you are a long-term equity holder. New here, don't mean to interrupt. No, not at all. Okay, I buy good quality stocks that most people buy and hold for decades. Well, I take those companies and I rotate them every week. Okay, is it getting ready to pay a dividend? If so, the stock has a tendency to go up coming into the dividend play or into the earnings play. Same thing, because earnings and dividends are usually right in the same week or so. Okay, at that point, I want to do a simple strategy called the covered call. It allows me to buy the stocks and sell the stocks at the same time and get the profit all in one swoop. Okay, so I can buy, sell, profit all in one swoop. However you want to call it. Can we check Nucor, N-U-E? Well, let's check it out. N-U-E. Now, N-U-E is on my list, but what does it look like for this week? No. Look at that. Here's your bottom, TDS day, and up, down, and then she shoots up. Now she's at 139. Eventually, look at this. The bottom here is at 98. She goes from 98 to 139. Is that like $42? Well, 40-something dollars on a $90 stock is close to a 50% increase. Was it 45 to 50% increase from here to here? And that's only 1, 2, 3, 4 months. 50% increase in 4 months. That's like 10% per month. Well, why would you be holding on to it? Why not take the profit? It ain't a profit until you take it. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. EPS shows profitability. EPS, earnings per share, EPS. No. Okay? Take a look. From 51 to 64 monthly, yeah, no thank you. Nope. Can you explain EPS? Is it like profitability? Well, EPS is actually Wisdom Tree US Large Cap ETF. That's what I thought you were talking about. But EPS means earnings per share. It doesn't mean that they're profitable. It just means how many shares they have and how much money did they come in per share. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that doesn't explain whether it's profitable or not. HWM. Megan, what is HWM? HWM. Hell no. Look at that movement, though. She's down from a bottom of 76, jumps up to 181. Well, that's over 100% increase, because 150 is 100%. But we're at 181. That's another 30. That's 150% just about from here to here. Well, what do you think? Do you think there's going to be profit taking coming back down again? Maybe. Now, does HWM have dividends? Well, let's find out. HWM. All right, Howmet Aerospace Inc. Dividends. Okay, so they only have dividends going back to 2016. That's only 9 years. Okay, well, let's take a look at them. Very first one, 6.9, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 1.5. Isn't that going the wrong way? That goes 1.5 to 2 to 2 to 2 to 4 to 5 to 8 to 1 to 10. Sorry. Yeah. No. You could, if you like it, you do it. Okay. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay. The consistency is not what I like. Jose wants to take a look at Bristol Myers Squibb, BMY. All right. BMY. Interesting. Okay. Now, it wasn't an immediate no. Did you see that? Look at the chart. High, low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, up. Here we are right now. 47.66. Well, at 47.66, we'll be looking at the 48s. This week, the 48's going for 4 cents. Yeah, no. Next week, the 48s are going for 58 cents. Well, that's over 1%. Well, that's what I'm looking for. It's not that difficult. But the questions are, do I like Bristol Myers Squibb? But before we do that, let's take a better look at the chart to see if it's the right time to buy. So the 1-year chart, fine. The numbers, fine. Well, now let's look at deeper into these. Is it the right time? Okay, so let's put glasses on so I can see. I probably should get a bigger TV. It's like a 55-inch screen there. And I still need glasses to see it. Maybe I should be bigger. Well, how about I just paint the wall white and put the projector on the wall? That way I won't need the glasses because it'll be so big. Anyway. All right, so BMY, a year ago, was the bottom of the year. 39.65. Check it out, 39.65. This is the bottom right there. Let's move this over a little bit so you get a better look. Better look at the chart. What do you think? Okay, the bottom, the top. Where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Up, down, up, down, up, down. What's going on here? Okay, this is today, right there. So I want to get a good look. This is a year ago. Doesn't mean as much, but it gives me an idea of the ocean. Wait, the motion of the ocean, the flow of the river, well, however you want to take a look at it. Slow up, fast down, back up, back down. Let's zoom in a little closer. All right. A year ago, 39.77. The high of the year, middle of March, 63.45. All right, last 90 days. Last 30 days, 30 days, right there. Here's your last 30 days. high, a low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at the flow. Up, down, sideways. Look at right here. Okay, she peaked up here. She fell down. Now we have 1-2 days to the upside. So here's your bottom right there. Monday, Tuesday was higher. Wednesday was higher. That means tomorrow, if she's above 47.66, that's an entry for me because I like 2 days after a bottom. Okay, here's the bottom right there. So let's see what those numbers look like for Bristol Myers Squibb. Change it to covered call right there, and the 48s. The 48s for next week right there. One contract at the market, and off to the races we go. Here's Johnny. Buy one covered call, Bristol Myers Squibb, BMY 100. That's the weeklies. 18 July 25. That means it's going to expire next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. The $48 call option at the market to open. Now, my profit on this one is $94.50. What does that mean? Well, we take the $94.50 and we divide it by the investment, $4,700. What does that equal? Well, let's get the calculator, find out. $94.50 divided by 47.06. 2%. Think about it. 2% every single week is over 100% a year. You can double your money every single year at 2% a week. Can you get 2% a week? I don't even get 2% a week. My average is 1.4. For this year, it's 1.4. Okay, well, that works for me. All right, but this trade right here, this particular trade, Bristol Myers Squibb, the current stock price, what the hell is it? 47.36. I'm going to be selling to 48. So if I buy it at 47.36, sell it at 48, I can get 2% for 1 week. All right, so let's take some more questions. Get back to the beginning. So we always starting at the same place. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So next. Oh, that's not what I said. No way you follow me on YouTube. Good karma. Well, not quite sure what you mean, but okay. All right, Drazik, can you please? Oh, hold on a second. I got a question here from Sterling. When you do a secured cash put, do you still get interest from the brokerage firm like Schwab? No, I honestly don't know if you're making money when you do a cash secured put on where that cash is being stored. Are you getting profit on that? Think about the number you're getting though. 4% a year if you're lucky. Drazik, can you please check seasonality on Gap? As I have the 23 strike expiring this week, maybe I roll to next week. All right, Drazik, let's check it out. The Gap. Fall into the gap. I forget how the commercial goes, but all righty. So you have it at 23. Well, we're at 22.64. You got 2 days. Do you think it's going to go over 23 by Friday? Well, why not take a look? What are they offering if you try to roll it over? Okay, so you can go roll it over and see, and you can do what's called a good till cancel order. So whatever the 1% is going to be, if you're in at 23, well, you want 23 cents. Well, what is it offering right now? Well, the 23s for this week are going for 10. That ain't going to work. 23s for next week is going for 33. Well, yeah, you should be able to roll it into next week and pick up another 1% for next week if you want to hold on to the gap. But then again, you've been here for a while. You know the rules, and you probably, I like to think, would never have bought Gap unless you thought it was a good thing. Well, look at here. A nice upward trend there. You got the high, the low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at it. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, right here. What's going on? Okay, well, the numbers look good. We already saw that. So let's zoom in a little bit closer. Okay, here's our last 30. What do you think? 30 days ago, 22.25. She shoots up 22.75, drops down to 20.75, back up to 23.50. Now we're at 22.64. Okay, well, there's a nice run right there. Well, now you have what's called profit taking. So now it's coming down. So you could roll it, pick up another 1%. You could let it expire. You could see what's going to happen on Friday. You just don't know. Can you show us one you would invest in and how to do it? 4-wheel drive Jeep. Dude, what's happening? Let's do the gap. See what the gap looks like. Okay. 22.50. Yeah, let's do the 22.50 on the gap. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, he wants to see seasonality. Sorry. Okay, nice move. Here we go, seasonality. Now, for those of you who do not know what seasonality is, let me see if I can briefly explain it to you. Seasonality. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. It's like a revolving door. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, over and over and over again. Far left, January 1st. Far right, December 31st. The blue line represents the movement for this year. That's what it's doing this year, the blue line. The red line represents the average movement over the last 10 years, the consistency of the movement. Well, if the company does the same thing over and over and over again, well, we should think, hypothetically speaking, that July last year should look very similar to July this year, which should look similar to July 3 or 4 years ago, because it's July and they're doing the exact same things over and over and over again. That's why it's called seasonal. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So basically it looks, because today, the little blue dot right there, that's today. Okay, now you can plainly see for the next week or so, she's going to go sideways, dip a little bit, and then go sideways again. Do you like the gap? Well, you must like the gap because you wouldn't have bought it if you didn't want to own it. Because you've been here for a while, so you know. Right? So yeah, I'd hold on to it. I would roll it forward and see if I can get 1%. If I can, great. If I can't, that's fine too. All right. So we got 10 minutes left. 10 or 15 minutes left. So I'm going to sit down and start answering questions. Oh, get off my feet. All right, Sterling. Gap, I would wait to see if by the end of Friday would get above 23. If not, do another covered call at 23 next week. Okay. Or you could tomorrow morning do a set it and forget it order, sell it at a certain price or roll it at a certain price and just let it sit. Good till cancel. If it fills, great. If it doesn't, hey, that's just that too. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Keisha. I think it is a different BYD. I don't know how many BYDs there are. Okay. So let's move this back over to where it's supposed to be. There we go. What else do we got? BYD is a Chinese electric car manufacturer and batteries. Oh, yeah. Okay, so BYD is Boyd Gaming, and that's on Warren Buffett's list. So you might have the wrong ticker symbol for BYD. Yeah, baby's in the house. Just got here, brother. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Okay, Johnny Harris, thank you for that. AT&T. Well, let's take a look at AT&T. Why not? Gotta change this up a little bit. I don't want to look at that. Wrong one. What do you think? Take a look. The high's right there. Now she's pulling back. Not time to jump into AT&T. Wait to find the bottom. Well, we got another week or so. Let's put AT&T down for next week. Even though it looks like it's going to be 2 weeks. It's kind of funny because we have Verizon down for next week also. Infinite Sky, can you please show us step by step from the beginning and placing the order? Well, we did that 4 times already. You would set a limit roll over at 23 on gap. Absolutely. Why not? If I bought it at 23, okay, and I'm selling the 23 call options, and 1% of 23 is 23, why not? It's still 1%, right? Okay, so AT&T. All right, what's next? All right, Infinite Sky. I will show you one more if you guys have one more stock that actually looks presentable. Holy cow, I got 60 messages over there. BMY, we already did. OB, how you doing? W Shipping, what's going on? Moss Tampa, what's going on? Billy Bob, Beachfront, what's going on? SDS, good evening. Papa Laos, good evening. Papa Laos, did you go over Advanced Auto Parts? Received a premium. Stock is running. Let it assign. Oh, Papa Laos, let's take a look. Advanced Auto Parts. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts. Ouch. Hell no, brother. Let that baby go. Sorry. You do what you think is right for you. Okay, but take a look at this. A couple of weeks ago, we're at 32.50. Now we're at 58. You think, seriously, that people aren't going to start taking profits eventually? Look at all that space. Okay, a month ago, we're down here, 32. Now she shoots up, take the profits, smile, say thank you, and then move on. Do you use a scanner? No, I do not. Hair shaving, my goal is 1% every day. Awesome. I wish you best of luck with that. What are your rules? Simber Black, my rules are very simple. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand or you don't want to hold on to. Number 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. Rule number 3, make sure the company is consistently profitable. You've got to decide how many years of profitability is right for you. Me, 2 decades, 20 years. Rule number 4, weekly options only. I'm looking for weekly cash flow. The only way I'm going to get it is through weekly options or sitting in front of the computer staring at that all day. No thanks, that ain't going to happen. So, OB, so do you focus on companies that are about to pay out a dividend within the next week or 2? Absolutely, because it makes sense. Because when a stock is getting ready to pay a dividend, it has a tendency to increase in value. So if I know when the stock is going to go up, well, why not buy it just before that? Fonzarelli, how do I find the dividend calendar? Is it in the Charles Schwab at all? No, actually, Charles Schwab owns Thinkorswim, and it's in Thinkorswim. I honestly don't know if Charles Schwab has an EX dividend calendar. Billy Bob. Okay, Billy Bob, we already looked at Altria, MO. ELP, I have no idea what the hell ELP is. Oh, I know what it is. It's a no. Okay? I don't do monthlies. See this? Monthlies. 18 July, 15 August, 17 October. No, no, and no. Monthlies just don't work. The numbers just aren't as attractive as you might think they are. Okay, we already did Altria. Where, Alan, we get your list? I have no idea what that means, Infinite Sky. Where, Alan, we get the list? That makes no sense. Ron, why did you look at CPRT? Why did you look at CRPT? Sorry, why did you look at CRPT? You said the same thing twice. All right. BMNR. What the hell is that? All right. Do you think it's too late for Kohl's for next week's 950? It's a 3%, but it is kind of high right now. Well, look at the motion. Okay, you get the high way over there at 22. She drops down all the way down to 6. You imagine that from 22 to 6? That's more than a 50% drop, more like 66% drop, but a big one. All right, so here's the bottom. Now she's shooting up. Okay, so what's going on there? Well, let's look at the last few weeks. Okay, here's our last 30 days. 30 days ago, we're at 9. We shoot up to 960, drop down to 750, back up to 960, back down here. Now she's going back up again. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. High to bottom, back to high, back down. Now she's going back up again. Does it make sense? Now, I like Kohl's. That's like the stock I've owned the longest. Now, I've only had it for about a year, a little over a year. Okay, so I don't buy stocks to hold on to. But Kohl's has consistently given me a nice profit. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, 930. So let's look at the 950s. Let's get out of here. All right. Okay, covered call. Now, I want to do the 950s, not for this week, but for next week, right there. All right, now I don't want to do just one contract. That way I don't scare away people with big numbers. Okay, at the market, which means it's going to fill first thing in the morning as soon as the market opens. And here's the order. Buy, see the green line? Buy one covered call of Kohl's. Okay, 18 July 25. That means this option is going to expire next Friday. The $9.50 call option against the stock, KSS, at the market to open, 2 orders, buying stock, selling the option, 2 orders. Okay, buying the stock, New York. Selling the option, Chicago. All right, anyway. Profit is $45. Not a lot, but look what the investment is. $905. So let's get the calculator. Okay, 45.5 divided by 905. That's 5%. So what do you think about Kohl's? If you like Kohl's at that price. And that's always the big one. Do I like Kohl's? Well, first of all, the big one is, does it make sense? Okay? Question number 1, always, does it make sense? Question number 2, do I like Kohl's? Question number 3, do I like Kohl's at this price? Question 4, am I willing to buy Kohl's, hold it for the rest of my days, and sell a covered call until it hits my target? Well, my target is 950. Well, what's the stock at right now? Okay, well, the stock right now is at that can't be right, 935, right up there. The stock is currently at 935. So if I buy it at 935, sell somebody the right, not the obligation. I mean, they can do it if they want. They don't have to. A weekly option every single week. I can do the same thing. So if I sell this week, give somebody the opportunity to buy it from me at $9.50. Remember, I'm buying it at $9.35. If I'm selling it at $9.50 through the covered call right here, I get this profit. And if it goes above $9.50, well, I get all my money back plus the difference between what I paid for it and what I sold it for. This premium here, 45 bucks, that's only, I'm trying to think of a good way of presenting it. It's kind of like a non-refundable deposit. Hey, I'm interested in this, but I'll let you know on Friday. But here's some money, hold it for me. Great. I mean, you hold it for them and you can't sell it to anyone else. So if the stock jumps up, you can't sell it because you took this money and you're holding it until Friday. So are you okay with that? So if I buy it at $9.35, sell somebody the rights to buy it from me at $9.50 by next Friday, I'm collecting a premium, which is 5% of the purchase price. So I'm making 5% on this deal. If it hits $9.50 by next Friday, well, someone's going to take the stock away from me. I get all my money back, plus the difference between the $9.35 and the $9.50, which is an extra 15 cents. I realize it's not a lot of money, but 15 cents on a $9.50 stock, well, that is another 1 3/4%, something like that. So that's like 6 or 7% you're making for 1 week. What's wrong with that? And then if you like it, well, just buy it again and sell it again. As long as the numbers work, just keep doing it. Now, the longest I've ever held anything was 9 months, and that was Kimberly-Clark, until I bought Kohl's. Because Kohl's kept giving me 1, 2, 3% every single week. So why would I get rid of it? It just doesn't make sense. All right, we got 6 minutes left. We got a whole bunch of questions. All right. Did I look at CPRT? No. CPRT. What the heck is CPRT? CPRT. Copart. Yeah, no. Sorry, I don't do monthlies. We already talked about that. 18 July, 15 August. Yeah, no. Okay, let's just do the questions. How do I find a dividend calendar? Is it in Charles Schwab? I don't know if it's in Charles Schwab, but we already talked about this. It is on Think or Swim. And you can download Think or Swim for free. They haven't changed it in 20 years. It's one of the things I like about it. All right, let's keep on going. Eric Marrow, we'll have to take a look at it tomorrow. If you water plants too much to get root rot and die. I get that, Adam. Mindy, how to do, I learned to do this step by step. Does the Patreon help? Yeah, it does. See, the Patreon, the nice thing about it is that you get to watch me live every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9 a.m. Friday, we jump on at 2:30 to make sure we have enough time so nobody loses any money. And we can take a look at every single trade. Want good financial advice? With new IPO comes out, by the way, you can. Thank you, Adam. Who is that? Okay. Johnny Harris, thank you for that. Club Med Tom. Uh-oh. He just had a question, and I just hit it, and it disappeared. Uh-oh. Sorry about that, Tom. It was there a second ago. All right, we already did that one. Where did you get the list? Google. KRPT, we looked at that one. We looked at that one. Oh, Eric, do you look at open interest of puts to calls and volume? Not necessarily so. Now, I do point them out and explain the importance of them. But the trading strategy is so elementary, it was created for a 9-year-old, so it's pretty simple. Alrighty, Adam did that one, that one. It's Club Med Tom. When you roll forward, do you keep the current premium? Yes. Okay, the premium you've already collected. What happens next is you got to buy back the one that you sold and then sell another one, and you get to collect a little bit more money. Thoughts on REITs? Well, REITs are fine as long as they work okay. Okay, not all of them are profitable, especially when you're, a lot of them have monthly options, not weekly. Sulio, mate, how are the ROI flowing in this week? I won't know until Saturday, but it looks pretty good so far. What is the highest rate of return strategy? That would be just buying calls, which I don't do and I don't teach. Do you usually do your calls on Monday? Absolutely. First thing in the morning. The computer screen is the board. Okay, not quite sure what that means, but alrighty. Enron, can I pay to learn your strategy? Sure, why not? Just go to the link in the bio and then join the Patreon and join the morning trading group, and you get to learn everything everybody else knows. What platform are you using? Okay, Shadow, I'm using Think or Swim. It's owned by Charles Schwab. What do I think about Datadog? Never heard of them. Simone is in the house. Does your daughter still trade in the stock market as an adult, or did she cash out or change strategies? Okay, so M. Woodhouse. Okay, my daughter at the age of 13 no longer wanted to hang out with daddy because daddy was the devil ATM. That was it. Okay, so when girls go through that phase of their lives, yeah, they don't want to be hanging around with daddy. Sorry. Yeah, so no, she doesn't do it anymore. She turned into a girly girl. Thoughts on Devon Energy? Paz, we can take a look at it tomorrow night. We got 1 minute left to go before I'm out of here. I'm just trying to answer as many questions as I can. By the way, what is your cost? Ellie, I have no idea what you mean by that. On the covered call. Oh, the covered call. Well, it depends on how many shares you buy. Okay, or how many contracts you want to do. So I'm always showing one contract at a time because then you'll know the initial investment and what the weekly return is. So then you get to decide, well, can I do 2 contracts? Can I do 5 contracts? Can I do 20 contracts? Okay. Davey boy, good. How much it eats from your profit and loss? Ellie, I understand the question, but in what context? What tool are you using? Okay, Shadow, I'm using Think or Swim. Davey boy, good. Raffaello, James, did you have a nice vacation? It was lovely. I did. Funny thing, when I go on vacation, I don't sit around and do nothing. Okay, I was outside working on the tractors. I was outside working on the 4-wheel. I was outside working on ski mobiles. I was outside mowing the lawn. Here's the kicker. Okay, the tractor died. It's got a big 6-foot spread on the what do you call it? On the mower. Okay, tractor died. Fine. Okay, so then I got the lawnmower, the one you walk behind, the electric one. Yeah, and then that one died. And then I had to go to the push mower. So can you imagine mowing 5 acres? It's like a football field. You go because you got a 3-foot spread, and you walk 150 yards. Turn around, walk 150 yards, turn around, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it took me about 4 hours to do half the lawn. It was interesting. Jazz, Katos, you got to take a look at it tomorrow. All right, only because we're past 11 o'clock and I'm out of here at 11. Are there better ways to enter a position like a trending sector rather than an EX date? Kevo, there are a lot of different trading strategies, okay? I can't tell you what is right and what is wrong for you because we're all different. We all have a different objective. We all have a different amount of money. We're all at a different age. We all have a different understanding. We all have different risk factors. So what's right for you might not be right for me. Now, I share my trading strategy and I share exactly what I do on 3 accounts. So you can see everything I do. So you know what it is I'm doing and you know the kind of results that I'm getting. So 1 + 1 is going to equal 2. So if it makes sense, why not? If it's not enough, look elsewhere. It's basically that simple. Eyes wide shut. Holy cow, I haven't seen you in a while. PLTR, we're not going to look at it tonight. Medtronics, we're not going to look at it tonight. What REITs should I start with? Okay, stay focused. I honestly can't give you any advice because I know absolutely nothing about you. Okay? Now, if I knew something about you, maybe I can have a conversation with you, but I don't know anything about you. So I always tell people, and I say this every night, okay? Between 5 and 25,000 people will come through the 9 channels that I'm broadcasting on. And I say the same thing. If you want to talk to me, have a conversation, send me your phone number and I will give you a call. Best place to do it is usually on TikTok or YouTube, because YouTube goes right to my phone, TikTok goes right to my phone. Instagram, I really don't get those messages. I don't know. All right. Where did I go on vacation? I went to Moosehead Lake. One traveler for life. Is there a benefit to doing more than one small contract versus one larger contract? Okay, traveler for life, 1% of a big contract is almost the exact same as 1% on a small contract, because 1% is 1% no matter how you look at it. Ellie, irrespective of number of contracts, do you have a good conditions with Schwab, or does it not eat from? Yeah, Ellie, you're gonna have to say that. Oh, eat from my profit and loss. Well, to be honest with you, I really don't pay attention too much to what the commissions and fees are nowadays. The reason why I say that, Ellie, because I started investing when it was still $250 per contract, to buy. So it's $250 commission to buy, $250 commission to sell. Okay, and then over the years it dropped from 250, went down to 125, and then it went down to 97, then it went down to 80, then it went down to 60, and now it's down to what, pennies? So I don't really pay too much attention to it because I remember what it used to be. All right, now I'm making 1% every week. That works for me. All right, so all the questions done over here, here, and here. So one place left with a whole bunch of questions, and I'm not going to get into them only because the people on YouTube, I get too many trolls on YouTube, and I feel bad for those that really want to have decent questions on YouTube. So I'm going to apologize to you now because one bad apple does spoil the whole bunch, okay? Club Med Tom, if you roll forward, do you good night? If you roll forward, do you good night? Well, okay, Club Med Tom, that makes no sense at all, brother. If you roll forward, do you good night? Okay. All right, so what do we have here? How can we know if the company where we invest is manipulating on purpose the value of the stock? Well, think of it this way. If the company's been doing it for over 20 consecutive years, well, then I'm pretty good at it. So now, there was a law that was passed back in the 1930s by FDR, which required all publicly owned companies to divulge all the information going on inside the company. Do companies still lie? Yeah, some of them still do. Some of them get caught, some of them don't. Okay, so that's why I always tell people, never buy something you're not okay with owning long term. If you're not okay with holding it until the day you die, don't buy it. All right, it's a little past 11. I'm going to call it a day. We can do the, did you vote for FDR? Yes, I did. I actually helped him with his campaign. That's funny. I'm not that old. All righty. Anyway. That's it. You guys have a great night, and we're going to do this all again tomorrow because the sun will come out. Catch you guys tomorrow, buddies. Alrighty. The sun will come out tomorrow. Wipe away the cobwebs and the sorrow. till there's none. Just thinking about tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that